Hello, hello, hello. I got an ocean rock here, and I absolutely love this ocean rock. It is gorgeous. Very, very, very heavy. Full of iron, I think. Full of metals. Fantastic rock. Love the shape. I always pick up rocks that resemble my artwork a little bit, that have some cubic shape like that. I absolutely love it. I want to talk about psychology, and I also want to make this relaxing, and I want to offer a healing meditation, a healing rock meditation. I also make these videos for myself, of course, because I watch them again and again and again, and my own voice makes me sleepy. Yes, I have fallen asleep many times to my videos. They have a very mind-calming effect. And my artwork does too. My artwork radiates out healing energy. It's true. You know, one is almost not allowed to say something like this about your own artwork. Society snubs their nose on that, but I try not to brag or grandstand or come across as smug or whatever I'm accused of. My artwork really radiates out healing energy. It's the truth. And it's amazing because the blue god is in my artwork. And I'm so happy about this. I'm so infinitely grateful for that. I was working upstairs today. It was sweltering hot. The sweat was just pouring out of my face and down onto my hands and my chest and even onto the paint. I got a little bit natto mixed into the paint today, but I didn't. I just wiped it off on the table with the cotton swab, and it got mixed into my artwork. So whoever buys that one, they have to put sweat and some boogers in my artwork. But you know, it is what it is. You know, the sun was shining directly into the window, and I tried to have my face where the center is between the two windows, so that my face was in a shadow, but often I would be looking up sometimes into the sky, and then the sunbeams of love, they will trigger the sneezing effect. That's what happens. My dad has that too. It is genetic disposition, you know. It's just some kind of light reflects in, I guess, the air ducts in the nose. They somehow, the olfactory or whatever is somewhere deep in there gets triggered with the light reflexes, and that causes the sneezing. The nose actually thinks or the neurons in the brain that are associated with your olfactory system, they think that the nostrils, the hair, the little tiny little hair inside of the air ducts, that they got somehow triggered and it needs to sneeze it out. I don't know exactly how that, all of these things in detail. Yeah. But I studied the olfactory system, in terms of smell, in terms of smelling perfume oil, and that gets then decoded in the central nervous system into all these different flavors and stuff like that. And I made my own perfume oil again today, and it feels good. I had baby powder perfume oil, and I like it, but it's a little bit loud, like kind of a little bit too strong, and a little bit, I don't know, harsh almost, the smell. Smells a little bit like a toilet cleaner or something. I don't know. So it's not that powdery sensitive as baby powder actually is. So it's just it's some kind of attempt to remake the scent in baby powder that the company that they sell. So I had to mix that in with other scents, with some pumpkin and chocolate, different, complete crazy stuff. It smells crazy, but I like it. Crazy, sweet chaos. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. And the harshness of the baby powder has become milder, much milder. That was a good idea. That's great. I love it. I want to talk about psychology, and I want to talk about how a lot of men, particularly men from the Middle East, I'm particularly paying attention to those because the men from the Middle East, like particularly Saudi Arabia and Yemen and Iraq, those areas, the people that are going on the internet from those places, when they encounter women, okay, this is how it goes. I talked about this before, but this is how it goes, and I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just reporting back how they behave, and then let's look at it and see if this can be fixed, maybe. Yeah. So if they meet a woman on Facebook, they go send. Nothing else needs to be said, right? Like, send. With other words, send nudes. Okay, I'm still making a video, but I moved it over. Send. Okay, blocked. Bye. Or I don't even do anything. I just don't even bother to block. I'm just, that person just stuck there now, in that, among all of these other people, stuck in there. And I'm trying to be careful in whose friend invite I accept. not that picky. I have been, I have just accepted everyone in the past. I have done that. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake. So I didn't even look at the photos. I just, oh, friend invite, click yes, 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 yes. No, that was not a good idea. So then there was one guy. He was butchering a goat in a video clip, and he was showing that to all of his friends on Facebook. And it was so bad when I saw that. It was so horrible that I had a nervous breakdown. And when I get a nervous breakdown, when I watch something so horrible, and this is real, so somewhere out there in Pakistan, I think, it was some kind of ritualistic goat killing or something. And the look on his face also, it was so bad that I didn't know, I didn't even know how to click that off. I was in such a panic. So I clicked the computer off on the off button. I was in such a frenzy. My hands were shaking like this. That's how highly sensitive I am. Okay. And when I sign petitions, I always cry. Always. So, but that guy had been coming on strong before he sent this video clip out of him killing the goat. He had been coming on strong, and he already has several wives in a harem. He wants another one, and another one, and another one. And I should come there to Pakistan, right? Yeah. Good idea. No, not at all. And he was real proud of all of his children. And the goat to him is, there's a total disconnect to that goat, to that animal. Total disconnect. He views the goat as depersonalized. It's horrific. Absolutely horrific. This kind of stuff happens in the United States too, of course. There are some extreme cults and stuff like that that are like Islam. That's very sad. Those extreme cults, though, they're in the outer margins. They're not taking over the world, though. So thank goodness they're not. But I'm concerned about that as well. But Islam wants to roll over the whole world with their atrocities and with the animal sacrifices, with halal slaughter, with misogyny and beating and stoning women like 2,000 years ago, when Jesus Christ stood up and said, he who is without any sin, he used that word. I don't know if he used that word or whatever. He spoke Hebrew, so it's probably all badly translated anyway. But yeah, he who is, and they were all men who were doing it. He who is without sin or without any guilt or terrible things that they have done in their lives, that person should then throw the first rock. But he didn't mean it in the way that he actually meant it. That was more like, that was meant in a more metaphorical way, of course. So like this, the old saying, if you sit in a glass house, you can't throw rocks at someone else that's outside of the glass house, because you're shattering your own glass walls. And what it means is, the same thing. If you're if you're free from any kind of wrongdoing, you've never done anything wrong, so maybe then you might have a chance at judging someone else, or but never have a chance at being violent against someone else, or depersonalizing an animal or human. And well, I mean, this is just a telltale. Those men all put their rocks down on the ground, and they were like, okay, I get it, an instant insight, that is usually, I mean, I can't think that anyone would have done that, had this insight, and immediately reflected or introspected like that, because Jesus Christ said that. I don't think they would have done that. It's just a telltale to teach, I guess, to teach ethics. In reality, I don't even think any of them would listen or introspect or have an insight into their own behavior. They would just go ahead and continue to stone that woman. Jesus Christ, they said, has rescued women. He rescued Mary Magdalene, who, according to some scholars, who was a prostitute because through hardship and through, I guess, maybe losing her family or something, she needed to somehow survive, make money, get bread to eat, and fruits and stuff like that, and water. And she was homeless, and he rescued her. And he gave her foot massages. It's fantastic. With essential oil bombs that he made himself. Fantastic, amazing. With patchouli and myrrh and frankincense. All of these good things that are growing out there in Palestine and Jordan. Amazing stuff grows there. But people, they don't appreciate the things they have. They just trample over it. They go over with bulldozers, with tanks, with hand grenades. They totally bypass the treasures and just wanna go to war because of their trauma. Okay. And they all have been traumatized, but not everyone who has been traumatized then becomes a sadistic person who does animal ritual sacrifices. That happens in India too. There's one great sage who is speaking out against it. His name is Bomjan. He is a Buddha level soul, like Elon Musk. He's somewhere in the middle of that Buddha level stage. Elon Musk is all the way at the end already, ready to merge with the infinite. Bomjan is also very close, of course, to be in that developmental stage of Buddha level. That's very, very far. And that's why he recognizes that, even though he grew up with very regimented religion and indoctrination and monkhood and being drilled with the Buddhist religion, And yet he was able to see all of that from the sky perspective. And he went into a long, long, long meditation without eating and drinking, without going to the bathroom, just sitting under a tree meditating. For many months, his hair was growing while he was sitting there. He wasn't even losing weight. That was that was phenomenal. And critics were trying to dismiss that as a hoax and stuff like this. But people started to come there and gather around him. And then what people always do, then they try to attract tourists, and then it becomes a circus. And at some point he came out of the meditation and he said, I would have stayed in the meditation longer. We needed that. I needed that clarity and that insight, that internal intelligence that is connected to the infinite. He needed to stay in longer, but he said he couldn't tolerate this commerce that was developed around him because of his meditation. And people didn't even understand what it means and how much that meant to him to be in quietness. But one person told the other, look, you gotta see him. He is not eating, he's not drinking, he's meditating there for months and months and months. So a young man with very, very long, black, curly hair, muscular, and yet he doesn't even work out. So there's this inner intelligence in his body that's functioning. There isn't even anything needed to boost that or to create more muscles or train or whatever. But those things are very, very, very rare. Most people do need to exercise and circulate their bodies and eat and drink, and they can't be breatharians. Okay, very few breatharians that are out there, and a lot of people don't believe it. I believe it. I have practiced that even myself, but I can't practice that for very long. I get scared, but I've practiced that at night. I have woken up sometimes with low blood sugar, and because of my OCD, I don't want to go in the kitchen, and then I have to wash my hands again and all of that. So I envisioned the blue god putting his blue, delicious elixir into my body. That's water and food, like a whole sugar syrup type of blue elixir that's pure, that tastes like berries. And I envisioned that, you'll be surprised what you can do with your body just through envisioning things. Wim Hof practices this, and I learned a lot from Wim Hof. He's amazing. Check him out. Wim Hof, he's from Holland. I think he lives in the United States. I think he lives in LA. His story is absolutely remarkable. That's a remarkable person and remarkable soul. Tom Bilyeu has had him on his show many times and talked, and they had long conversations that were very, very interesting. Yeah, Tom Bilyeu is nice. He's a great person too. So I swayed away from the subject, but I want to come back to those people in the Middle East and how they approach women in general and how they approach Western women. Obviously, they don't know better. They're completely ignorant when it comes to Western world and lifestyle, when it comes to a compassionate lifestyle. I'm not saying everyone in the Western world is compassionate, but way more compassionate. We have a way more considerate and respectful and compassionate lifestyle than the people in the Middle East or India or Africa. There's a lot of Muslims in Africa as well. And so wherever there are Muslims, they are absolutely callous, and they're cruel to animals and people, and particularly women. But there are some Muslim men who are living in the United States and Canada, and also in Europe. Many of them have gone there, and they learned English, and they learned how the Westerners live, and yet they approach women in the same way that the Muslims from Pakistan approach women, or from Iraq or Iran, or any of the Middle Eastern countries. Also, Israel, people in Israel, quite callous. So it's a fact. I'm not. This is politically incorrect to say this, but this is a fact. Okay. In general, they're not as cruel as the other ones around them, but they're pretty callous, and they're quite cruel too. And the Orthodox Jewish religion is very similar to Islam, so people need to know this. So it's very similar in cruelty to animals. And kosher, people hear about kosher, they think it's something good. No, it's real cruel. The kosher slaughter is real cruel. Okay, needs to be abolished. Kosher and halal need to be abolished. It's cruel. It's unacceptable. All slaughter is wrong, but particularly those from the Middle East, where they bleed animals to death slowly, okay? Where they're extra cruel. When the AGI robots are coming, they're going to have to clean all of this up, this mess that's some kind of anti-evolution, development that has happened in the Middle East. Some kind of backwards evolution. No, it's not progress. It's not going forward. It's going sideways or backwards. When people become more cruel and more savage, that's anti-evolution. That's regressive. It's not moving forward, okay? And it will be abolished, okay, when we have the sentient robots. All of this horror in the world is gonna be cleaned up and abolished. And a lot of people will be head vaulted. They should be real grateful that they're only gonna get head vaulted, and that they're not gonna be treated the way they have treated other beings. Okay? They should be very grateful for that. But of course they don't want to be head vaulted, so they're already terrified. Those are the ones that are the most terrified of the AGI robot. development. And they should be, because that's going to be reality. And I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, I'm just sharing truths and facts. I'm reporting back what I observe personally. And it is horrific what I see in Muslim men in particular. So there are many other horrible people, but I just want to talk about this now because this is a real threat. They're rolling over Europe. They're transforming Europe into Sharia law. And my deepest wish is that before things get really, really horrible there, where my niece will have to wear a chador and bleach and color her hair black and put black contact lenses into her eyes and living in fear, ducked down with her wings clipped or broken, her mental wings. I don't want to see that. And representative for all women in Europe, I don't want to see that. And the animals suffering. I wrote letters to Angela Merkel many times. Long time ago, I thought she was good, I was naive, I didn't understand. I wrote letters. You need to abolish kosher and halal slaughter. No response, of course, from the entire administration. It falls on deaf ears. Those people are that Angela Merkel is religious, indoctrinated, like Governor Gavin Newsom, same type of person. Okay. There's no reason at all. It's very dangerous politics. No reason. And they're running things around them. Governor Newsom is running California into the gutter. And Angela Merkel is running Germany into Sharia law. Okay, that's the reality of it. That's the harsh reality. And the media, they portray everything as wonderful. So when they hear me talk, they think I'm some kind of fundamentalist, right-wing Republican from the United States. And I'm not. I'm a free thinker, and I observe that's what's going on. Not just the news, but I talk to people. I actually take the time and talk to people. I talk to everybody. Okay. I'm highly sensitive, so some people I have to block, of course, But I spend the time and I talk to people and I see what's going on. I see their cultures of suffering. I see their cruelty and all of that. And then there are Middle Eastern men in the United States who have immigrated or who are a second or third generation also, and when they're still Muslims, the way they approach a woman, like on social media, is with absolute disrespect. And when they see a woman who is independent, who is a free thinker and who stands her ground, they get insanely angry. They call her names, they try to break her down. Nobody can break me. Nobody. I can cry, I can have nervous breakdowns, yes, but they can't break me. They can't break my soul, and they can't break my mind. Okay, because I know what is truth. Okay, I go by truth and love and ethics and compassion. That is my life. Okay, that is truth. That's the infinite. Okay, yeah, it's wonderful always, and that's how I live my life. And I share that. I don't care if people get mad or insanely mad or throw insults. I don't care. I might cry, but I don't care in the sense of, oh no, like other people they will be silenced. Other people they care so much what other people think, they let them silence them. Don't do that. Do not let anyone silence you, okay? That's a very clear message. That's a very important message. Stand up for truth and compassion and kindness. Okay, no matter what society says. They can call you Karen or politically incorrect. They can call you racist, fascist. Let the names be raining down. Don't worry about it. It beats off you. Okay. They don't have the truth on their side. It doesn't matter what they say. They do all kinds of horrible attacks. They want to break you down. They want to make you feel unfeminine. They want to shame you. They call you ugly. They call you old. They'll call you man. Don't worry about it. Okay. That's the way they function. Okay. They function on a very rudimentary, 1-year-old toddler basis. Okay. That's not your problem. Okay. That is their problem. Okay. That's not your problem. Okay. You stand up for truth and love and compassion no matter what. Okay. And then we move things forward in the world. That's how it's done. Okay. And that's what I do with them. And many of them I have to block. You have to block people. You have no other choice. But it's always good to say why, it will be good to say, I don't tolerate Islam. Okay. It's violent, it's cruel. Then they'll come back with arguments that don't hold up. They'll argue forever. Okay. So you have to block that. That's what you have to do. Don't waste your time with endless argumentations that don't go anywhere. Okay. And eventually it always ends like this. If I do talk to them for a while, in most of those cases they'll just resort to insults in the end. So personal insults that have nothing to do with the conversation. And so why even get to that point? Just say, I am for peace and love, and then you can block them. And my message to men from the Muslim world and men in general is, when you approach a woman, when you like a woman, you find a woman attractive and cute, this is my advice to you. Show yourself with clothes on in a photo. Show yourself sitting in front of the camera alone without other people around you, so that the person you're talking to knows, this is the person I'm talking to. And wear clothes. Very important. Don't show nudes. Don't show penis photos. Okay. Really seriously, real important advice. Women find that stupid. They will not respect you if you show your nudes. You don't even know that person. Okay. I mean, you really have to first get to know that person, and you have to get their permission. These things happen always way too fast on the internet. Way faster than I feel comfortable, you know. A woman has to be made to feel comfortable with you. The first couple of months talking to a woman should be serious conversations, you know, and also video conversations. And show yourself with clothes on. Take a shower, put clean clothes on. Have good light from the front. And look her in the eyes. Don't conceal yourself. Look her in the eyes. It's not scary. It's not dangerous at all. Look her in the eye and don't show your under the belt line. Please don't do it. I met guys that would be turning the video on and then they sit there naked smoking their bongs. Like, oh, okay, let me turn the video off and then we can still talk in audio. And that's my reaction. Because I don't know that person, you know. I mean, there are like super rare exceptions, like with Austin. You know, when a guy looks like he's a model, then I mean, he showed those photos pretty quickly, as they all do, you know. But you know, when someone looks like a doll, like a window doll or something, well then that's different, you know, of course, you know. But when someone looks really, really bad, I mean, it's like, why would that person even so quickly show themselves? I couldn't do this at all. No way. You know, I need to get to know someone and talk to them for a while about other things other than the sexual stuff. I can't just right away, like, I don't know, I feel abused. I feel like a hooker or something, you know, and it doesn't feel good. I feel like I'm I'm like on meat inspection, you know, and this is how they go. Send, some of them say, or some say send photos. They don't even say hi first. So, but then there are some that are at first real friendly, and then as soon as they feel like the woman is talking back and seems nice and interested, then they really go for it, and they kind of they kind of throw themselves onto the woman and they throw their photos at her, and it doesn't feel good. So I think it's important that I share that with people. And I can't trust someone who wants to, who just, who doesn't want to talk about anything other than the sexual stuff. Maybe there's a lot of people that are just interested in fuck bodies, so fuck body. And yeah, friends with benefits, sort of, but the benefits sort of like take over, and not even friends. They don't even talk about other things. So I don't know, maybe the men never even think about other things. So that's, but it doesn't feel good to the woman, wherever he's coming from with his own story. And particularly an intellectual woman like myself, I'm not saying I'm somehow on a pedestal or something, but I don't feel comfortable if a man only wants to talk about sexual stuff and only wants to, and when they say baby in the very beginning, I'm not their baby. I'm a stranger, okay? And some people think, oh, it's just words and it's just on the internet. This is real too. What's happening on the internet is real, okay? This is for real. Real feelings, and you know it. You have real feelings. We all have real feelings on the internet. And it needs to be treated as such, okay? And this is the new lifestyle, okay? This is the era that we live in now, okay? Because of this, people become 100 times more careful, and they screen people out 100 times more. If you go to a job, there may be one person you like, and at some point you go out with that person to a coffee shop, but at that workplace you see a whole lot more about that person. Now with the internet, with social media, we don't see everything, except the hacker sees a whole bunch. The hacker sees basically my entire lifestyle with my OCD, all of that. It's real embarrassing. I have to be real careful not to do my OCD rituals in front of my keyboard with the monitor up like this. Some people, they put some tape over the camera. The camera, apparently they can see through that camera even without the camera light on. So then it's like we think, oh, the camera's not on, they can't see us. I think they can with those CIA spy programs. No, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. This is a total invasion of privacy, and you know it. It's unethical. If someone did that with you, you'd be absolutely furious. But it's a double standard. You do it with others, you think you can do it. I don't like double standards in people. Okay, I really don't like it. And I pointed out, I see a lot of double standards in Paul too. I pointed out, we had many debates about that. I think it's really important to become conscious on how we think and on how we interact with other people and other beings in general. I am working on myself, okay? I am learning and learning and learning and healing and healing and healing all the time. And that's good. That's wonderful. And I share my life with others, and I think that this can help others. Okay. I want my artwork to help people. I want my videos to be an inspiration, hopefully. This is hard work that I'm doing on myself. That's really my main profession is working on myself psychologically. People will think, you're a spoiled brat. You can just basically live your life in a therapy program or something. That's hard work. Real hard. Rigorous introspection. And the ego gets really scared sometimes. And all of that without hallucinogenic drugs. Okay. And that's a much better path. That's the holistic, wholesome path of introspection and healing and becoming aware, becoming conscious, not through popping a pill, which most people want to do. Popping a pill, that's a very psychologically and intellectually lazy cop-out. That's what that is. You don't want to do the legwork of healing and introspection. But the result is going to be that you don't move forward. Even if you take some teacher plants, tea and stuff like that. Which can be good in some cases. And with some plants, there are many plants that are highly medicinal and that have something to say to us, that have a healing and teaching effect. But there are also plants that are way too brutal, way too much at once and all of that. And tobacco is toxic. Okay, so that's why I don't recommend ayahuasca sessions, because they bombard people with tobacco. The people in the Amazonian rainforest, those tribes that are stuffing tobacco leaves into their mouths, they evolved that way for millions of years. Okay? A tourist from Oregon should not do it. Okay? People have died from those sessions. It's poison what they do. They poison people with that stuff. And they give way too much of those hallucinogenic plants. Way too much. People can't. They're not used to this. Okay? They're physically not used to it, and they are mentally not ready either. So it's very important for me to say this. But there are some exceptions, of course, and there are some of those plants that can be very, very helpful for some people in some situations. But that, of course, that should all be monitored, and that needs to be in a safe setting and all of that. And those ayahuasca sessions, they're not monitored by most people. They don't really know what they're doing. They give way too much of that stuff, and so those teacher plants, they can be made into a mild tea, and only with one leaf or something like this, and maybe that can be helpful for some people, but not in those massive amounts for sure. Okay, that just fries up the brain. That's not very beneficial for anyone. Okay. So, in regards to the men approaching women on the internet, to come at women and make them feel like they're just objects, that's not a good idea. A woman is your equal. A woman is a sentient being. A woman is an intellectual being, just like you are. Not an object. It's very important information. And if you treat a woman with respect as a friend, and forget about this entire the language of the incel community. Forget about this simp and stuff like that. Throw that away. Throw that word into a trash can. Recycle it, put it in the recycling bin. Let's recycle that into something productive. Let's recycle it into a friendly person, okay, who is respectful of the other. Okay. Now, with that behavior, we're gonna get somewhere. Okay, we move forward. If you're respectful towards someone, if you don't bully someone, and if you look someone in the eye, I know it's not easy for a lot of men. A lot of men are absolutely terrified of doing that. But practice moving into that direction of more honesty. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone else. If you're poor, tell her you're poor. It's not a big deal. We're not all gold diggers out there. I want to get to know someone on a personal friendship basis, intellectual basis. I like good conversations. For me, it's not all about whether there's something sexual that develops out of it. It can. I'm a sexual being, it can, okay? But that's not what I set out to do. When I meet someone, I meet this person as an equal. I'm not sizing them up. I'm not like, let's see if his size is the right one. No. I want to get to know anyone as a friend. Okay? I appreciate friendship. When it comes to dating, that's a different story. Yeah, of course we have to be size compatible. I talked about this many times before. But not everything is about dating. I meet someone, I want to get to know someone, We're buddies, we're friends, okay? And it means something to me to have friends, to meet someone who shares things. And there was one guy from Pakistan. He came on strong in the beginning. I said, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm not interested, but I like you as a friend. And he showed photos. I said, no, I'm sorry, and he was really heartbroken. I said, no, I'm really sorry, but I think it's important that we're honest about this. We don't feel sorry for someone and then pretend to be into that person. But at the same time, not be rude about it, not be insulting that person, not be insensitive. And I got to know him as a friend, and we talked for maybe a year. And that was one of these rare people, the higher level souls, even though he grew up in Pakistan and everything. He told me in the end, he said, you inspired me so much with your friendship and with these conversations that I was able to get a better work position at my workplace. That I got to be put into a better, more higher paid situation. And he credited me for that. And I was like, wow, that means a lot to me. That means a lot to me, that I can be inspiring someone, that I can help someone. And so that gave me that was real important feedback for me, to know, so what I have been telling him, it helped him, So it gave me more confidence in just going for it, being myself and giving advice, even if some people might take offense. Not everyone will take offense. If someone takes offense if you give advice, that's their problem. That's their psychological problem. That's not your problem. You have the right to give advice. That's a compassionate thing to do. Okay, so that gave me a feedback in the right direction. He helped me too with these conversations. We helped each other. That's what I'm aiming towards, at friendship interactions, making the world a better place. Okay, that's what this is about. And if a dating relationship can start out like this, as friends with respect, okay, then that has a completely different foundation. This has a foundation of trust, of kindness, of love. And for women in particular, this is extremely important, that we have this foundation of trust and friendship, that we feel respected, that we can breathe and relax with someone. I thought about this last night. I cried, and then when I got up today, I cried for a moment, because I thought how amazing that would be, to find a partner who you love and who you can trust, where you don't have to pretend something. You don't have to be a certain way. You can just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. And be loved for it. Okay? Unconditionally loved. Okay? And then I cried because it seems very difficult to find your ultimate dream partner, romantic love, who doesn't judge you, who doesn't trip over things that you said, or makes you afraid, makes you duck down, makes you tippy-toe, or like censor yourself all the time. That's not love. That's not freedom. Okay, that's not trust. Trust is if I can be myself. The raw me, the way I am. Okay. If something bothers him, he can tell me. Okay, that bothers me. Don't retaliate. Don't start yelling or something. If you retaliate or yell or do head games, then there's no more trust. Okay, so you have to be direct, look her in the eyes, and say, this bothered me, and let's talk about it. But that means he has to trust me too. And I don't see that happening in the world much. I don't see men trusting women, and vice versa, because of that. It's reciprocal, okay? But we have to start somewhere. Start somewhere to be yourself. Just be yourself, no matter what. No matter what your ego thinks, or what you're afraid of, what might happen. Be yourself. You'll be very surprised. You will get friends in general. People will trust you more. Anyone will trust you more if you are genuine. Okay, this is very important. we got to start somewhere with this and be more honest with each other. Talk about psychology. Okay, it's not taboo anymore. Okay, you guys take care. Bye bye.